thinking that I could have done something, but now I'm left with an empty heart. No making amends, no waking up beside you and holding you till we forget it all. How could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. You couldn't keep the door shut, and now the frostbite's creeping in. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. Wizard of Oz can't undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. Still, I find myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here. So come home, why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold.
Hey, hi, I'm glad you're here. It's time for yoga, and you can do this yoga, and it's so much more than yoga. But yoga is great because yoga is the union of body, mind, and spirit. I had my coffee this morning. How about you? Anyway, this is your yoga. You do it from home. Give yourself permission to modify, to skip, to change. Just don't sweat it. It's just yoga. I'm Jan, this is 316 Yoga, and this is your yoga from home. You do it from home, you do it your way, privacy of your own home. We practice every single day, 1 hour long. You think, oh gosh, that's a long time. But just do it for 10 minutes. Just stick around for this little warm-up, and I guarantee you're going to feel better. Every day we practice. Every practice is different. Check us out. But the only thing I ask, the bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. If something hurts, don't do it. That's not good. This is your unique life. This is your unique path that you are on. You know, give your yoga a try to help you along that journey. It'll work magic in your body, I promise. Okay, so here's the deal. Hello, Lori, 108 degrees where you are. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, you guys, that's hot. All right, so here's the deal. Do what is right for your body. We're gonna do some standing. We're gonna do some poses on our mat. It's all up to you what you wanna do. Just modify. Grab some props like yoga blocks, maybe an extra towel. Just come along, see how you feel, and then just refine your practice as you go. Maybe tomorrow, go out and buy some blocks for your practice. Come on up to a standing position. As you come on up to standing, standing, remember the big thing is do what is right for your body. If it hurts, don't do it. Back out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Just don't sweat it. All right, so we're standing now. As you're standing, lock a stress number into your mind. Scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's going on? Remember that and just do this warm-up with me. Then leave if you don't like it, but I promise you're going to like it. Strike a pose of confidence. Feet a little wider than hip-width distance. Have a chair or a countertop nearby. That's fine. Put your hands on your hips and send your knees toward the back of the room. Lift out of your chest. Lift out of the crown of your head. Take that Superman confidence stance. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sighing, audible breath out through your mouth. Now start to come up onto the balls of your feet. All right, so you're building your foundation, strengthening your feet. Embrace all those little cracks and crunches. As long as they don't hurt, you're okay. Strengthen your feet. So come on up to the balls of the foot and come on down to the heels. Even maybe get a little rocking going as you build confidence in your foundation. That's where it all starts, right? You got to have a solid foundation. If you build on a rocky foundation, not good. Work on your foundation. We'll do toes pose and ankle pose too, so maybe stick around and see what that's like. That's very early on in the practice. So you're lifting and lowering. Now it is time to get control of that little voice in your head. We've all got them. Let that sink in. Get control of it. You are in control of that little voice in your head. And what is that little voice saying to you? What are you saying to yourself? Don't be critical, be kind. All right, maybe rock onto your heels and lift your toes up. Wiggle your toes and that little voice in your head. Let it be your mantra today. I am strong. I am here. I am capable. I am able. Whatever it is, make it positive about you. Nobody else knows it, so just hold on to it and cherish it. Plant your feet nice and solid. All right, take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, sigh it out through your mouth. You got to start somewhere, right? I'm glad you're starting here. Got to start, take it little by little, and just build. All right, hands to your low back, squeeze your elbows toward your spine. Take a little baby back bend, look up to the sky. Push your hips more forward, lift your chest up to the sky. Exhale, take a forward fold. As you fold forward, I don't know how low you go. Let the arms hang loose. Let gravity work with the arms to maybe increase the depth of your fold. Put a little bend in your knees. Look back to your knees. Look up to your belly button. Hands can reach the ground or not. It's up to you. That bend in the knees is a nice little option. Breathe in. Breathe out. Think of your spine decompressing. Shake your neck a little bit. Come back to stillness. Stack your vertebra up one vertebra at a time, like stacking little Lego blocks. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Palm tree pose. Start with an extended mountain. Lift your fingers high to the sky. You're rooted solidly into your feet now. Lift and reach out of your fingers, and then interlace your fingers. Send your palms up to the sky and take your palm tree pose. This is your sideways movement, your lateral flexion of your spine. Bending it sideways. Breathe. All right, let's add a little bit of a pose that we do in our crescent moon. When you lean to one side, when you lean to the left, take your left hand and pull on that right wrist just a little bit. Ooh, feel the depth of that stretch. Come on back up to the sky. Take it to the other side, and then let the low hand pull the top arm just a little bit more. And then interlace your fingers again. Come on back up. And go from side to side gently. Palm tree pose. Come on up to shoulders over the hips. Release your hands. Extended mountain. Maybe come up onto the balls of your feet. Hold for a second or two. Or not at all. You decide maybe that chair is your best friend right now. Hold on to it. And then lower on down. Big coat or big arm circles. Tee out your arms, and then with your fingers, you're drawing circles on the side of your room. Squeeze your shoulder blades together at the top like you're squeezing a lemon for lemonade in that 108-degree weather. Circle your fingers to the back of the room. Bend your knees when the hands come down. Send your knees down a little bit. Wake them up. Bend them. All right, arm circles can be big or small. Knee bends can be big or small. Nobody's judging you. Remember, it's your yoga. I'm just proud that you're here. That's the hardest part, showing up. Arm circles in the other direction. Yes, you got it. All right, let's breathe. Hello to Betty, Tyrone, Tammy, Liz, Lynn, Lori, Scott, Kelly, Stan, Rena, Tina, Marietta, Kelly, Bobby, good to see you. All right, let's finish up. Come on up to standing. Just give your shoulders a wiggle this way and that, and then let the arms hang heavy as the shoulders are away from the ears. Take a big breath in, and a big breath out. Take your hands to opposite elbow creases. Let's do a ragdoll pose. Hinge forward. Hinge forward. Put a little bend in your knees. Look back to your knees. Breathe in, breathe out. Start to sway the elbows from side to side, feeling a little more weight in one foot, then a little more weight in the other foot. As the elbow comes back toward the knee, think of your spine decompressing. Look back to your knees, let your head hang heavy, and really give it a good shake here. Come back to the midline of your body, release your fingertips toward the earth, roll your spine up one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked till you come up to standing. Let's do big coat swing. All right, arms down by your sides, twist from one side to the other. All right, here's your word to think about today. I've kind of alluded to it a little bit, kind of sprinkle it in through the practice. The word is path. All right, path means your way, your path, it's your course, it's your direction. And think of your yoga that way too. It's your yoga. The yoga is here to serve you. You don't have to do all the crazy poses. You do it your way. Twist. Look over one shoulder, then the other. Arms are heavy. Twist a little bit more. Maybe look a little bit farther. Nice controlled twist. Close your eyes if you want a little bit of a challenge here, but you don't have to. Breathe. And let's finish. Come on back to the midline of your body. Bring your hands to that prayer center position. Maybe close your eyes or not. It's up to you. The positive thing that you said, the little voice in your head, what are you telling yourself today? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Sigh it out. Let it go. Now just stand here. Let your arms hang down by your sides. Maybe with your eyes closed, think back to that stress number. What was it? What is it? Stress is coming down. Your yoga's working wonders. That's your little warm-up. If you want to stay longer, you'll see some new poses. So come on, let's do it. Don't give up yet. Just hang in there. Let's fold forward. Walk your hands down on your mat, more forward. Come down to your knees. You can use a yoga block here or two. They're not very expensive. Buy them anywhere. Walmart, Marshalls, whatever. Knees together or good old Amazon. Hips back towards your heels. Arms can be down by your sides with a block to support your head. Or maybe it's two blocks to support your head. Do what works. Fingers are reaching toward the bottom of your mat. Palms are face up. Length in your spine, all the way through your neck and to the crown of your head. This is your classic child's pose. You can use a half-size block, smaller than this if you want, or no block at all, and bring your head down to your mat. Stay here if you like, or take an option. Here's an option. Spread your knees wide, big toes touch. Sink your hips back towards your heels. They don't have to sit on your heels. Arms can reach long to the top of your mat. You can reintroduce that block if you want and support your head here, or no block at all. Stretch it out. Let it feel good. Child's pose is a pose of surrender. Let's just say you're surrendering to yourself. You're giving yourself some time here. You're on your mat. You're safe. You're comfortable. Know where to go. Be here in this moment. You've committed the time, so relax into the poses and get the most benefit out of it. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Push your hands a little more into the mat. Sink your hips back a little further. Lengthening in the spine. Stretch in the quads. Stretch in the knees. Nice dorsiflexion in the feet. Take it in the ankles. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Plantar flexion, actually. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Come back to your child's pose anytime you like. Close your lips, maybe, and breathe in and out of your nose only and build heat in the body. If you like that, focus on that. Focus inward. Now try to work your arms toward the top of the mat if you're in your classic child's pose, and then let your forearms come down to the mat. Let's go into a puppy pose. Slide your hands forward, slide your chest forward close to the mat or even on the mat. Adjust your knees to however works for you, and really think of sending, like a puppy when they want to play, sending your tailbone up toward the sky, sliding your forearms forward, bringing your chin, your chest down toward your mat, really feeling the nice stretch in your low back. Adjust your legs however is right for your height and shape of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. There's your little puppy pose. All right, come out of your puppy pose, come to a neutral tabletop. What is that? That is when your wrists, your elbows are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Press the tops of your feet into your mat and lengthen through your spine. Nice flat back here. Let's get into the shoulders. We did nice arm circles today. Let's get into the shoulders doing our thread the needle pose. Push into the earth. Lift your right arm up to the sky. So you're going to twist your torso to the right side of your room. Lift your right arm up, maybe look up towards your right fingers. And then as you're ready to exhale, take that right arm down, bring it under the left like threading a needle, and then bring your right shoulder down toward the earth. Maybe use a block to support either your cheek or your shoulder, and bring the shoulder on down. Left arm reaches long to the top of the mat. Right arm is reaching long, palm face up to the left side of your room. Little twist here in the body. I'm glad we took that big coat twist, kind of warmed us up. And adjust your knees. Again, adjust. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's shape is different. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. You want to feel a nice stretch in your right shoulder. Reach a little farther in the left hand to the top of the mat. Reach a little farther, the right hand to the left side of the room. Breathe in, breathe out. You should be feeling a nice stretch in that shoulder. When you're ready, unthread, dethread, which is it? The needle. Slide the arm back, slide the left arm back under the left shoulder. Right arm, sweep it on back up to the sky and look up toward the right hand. Place the right hand down on your mat. Come back to your little neutral tabletop for a second or two. Left arm lifts to the sky, look up to the left hand, and then sweep it on down and do your thread the needle on this side. Left arm under the right. Right arm reaches to the top of the mat, and maybe you're not coming very far. That's okay. Just give it a try. That's how it all starts. Start on your path. What is the saying? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first footstep, right? So just do what you can with what you got. Maybe you can bring it down farther. Lift your bottom up to the sky. We did puppy pose. You can do this. Reach your right arm longer. Reach your left arm farther to the right. Breathe. Soften your body. Enjoy the depth of the stretch and don't stress over it. When you're ready, if you're ready, maybe you want to stay here longer. I'm going to slide my right hand back under my right shoulder, lift my left arm up toward the sky, and look up toward the sky. Plant the right hand next to the left, and I'm going to come into a toes pose. Find your two blocks, bring them by your sides. Sometimes we do just toes pose, sometimes we do just ankle pose, sometimes we combine them in a nice flow. Let's flow them today as we strengthen our foundation. Okay. Blocks are by your sides, tuck your toes towards your shins, have a seat back on your heels. All right, this is toes pose. We do this a lot. Stick around. One pose leads to the next, and just try it out if you're new to it. And I guarantee over time, you'll come to love your yoga, and you'll just feel so much better. That's what you'll love, and it's so tangible. You can feel it almost instantly. That's how we take that stress number in the beginning. And it happened, the stress was coming down even with the warm-up. All right, so here's the deal. You've been in toes pose for a little bit already. As long as it doesn't hurt, you're good. If there's pain here, and pain, it's a sharp, ooh, ow feeling. Come out of it. If it's just uncomfortable, and it is uncomfortable, breathe through it. All right, maybe you take a little bit of weight off your heels, or off of your toes, if that feels better. Settle in. Maybe you bring your shoulders a little more over your hips and just hang out here for a second or two, and we're going to flow it with the ankle pose. So think about the foot. We're really bending it in one direction, then we're going to really bend it and stretch it in the other. Let's do that now. Blocks, they bring the ground up to you. Bring the tops of your feet onto your mat. Sit back on down onto your heels. Use the blocks to push into, to let your knees come up. Let your knees come up, but keep them together. And you can walk these blocks back, whatever works for you. If you don't have blocks, maybe you can use your hands today. Bring your hands down to the mat. And let your knees come up as you balance on the tops of your feet. Chest is lifted. Breathe. Nice stretch in the ankles. How does it feel? I think ankle pose feels really, really good, because how often do you really stretch your ankles this way? Find that mobility. You got to keep that mobility going. All right, let's flow it a couple of times. Come back to your toes pose. Using your blocks or no blocks, you make it work for you. Maybe hands are at prayer center and you come back to that voice in your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Flow it to your ankle pose, using the blocks or not, using your hands or not, you decide. Let the knees float on up, but stay together. Breathe, maybe close your eyes to challenge your balance a little bit. Boy, what a difference it makes with the eyes closed. Focus on something that's not moving to help you find your inner balance. And then play with it if you want by closing the eyes or taking a long blink. We sometimes do that in our tree pose too. What a challenge. I could stay in ankle pose for a long time. Maybe you want to do that, but right now I'm going to come out of it and come to a neutral tabletop. Tap the tops of your feet out on your mat. Lift your feet up, squeeze and scrunch your toes. Then circle your ankles this way and that, just kind of refreshing in the ankles, right? All right, now let's come on down and have a seat on your heels. All right, so keep your feet in that nice stretch where the tops of the feet are on your mat and have a seat on your heels. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This is called your thunderbolt pose. All right, neck turns, plain and simple until it isn't simple. All right, so lengthen up through the crown of your head and then turn your head gently from left to right. Eyes can be open or closed. How easily we take for granted movement, but when you don't have it, then you really appreciate it. So keep moving. Keep the head turning from left to right as long as it doesn't hurt. Crunchies are okay as long as they don't hurt. Maybe your eyes are closed, or maybe you're using your eyes to really, really look over that shoulder. Turn the head, really, really look over the other shoulder. Keep your shoulders down and soft. Just simple little turns in the neck, left to right. Bring your head back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Little teeny neck circles. Just move your head this way and that. You know, maybe like you're drawing a circle on the front wall with your nose. All right? Take it in one direction, then the other. And then come back to rest at the midline of your body. Let's do ear to shoulder. You know, just kind of turn so one ear is going to your shoulder, then the other ear toward the other shoulder. Here's what you could do too to encourage the depth of this. Lift one arm up to the sky, bend that elbow, take those fingers on top of the opposite ear, and then with your hands gently encourage your head toward the shoulder, allowing the ear to come toward the shoulder, keeping the opposite shoulder, the one where the hand is down on your thigh, keeping it just soft, not crunched up toward your head. Breathe in, breathe out, use your hand to increase the nice stretch here. Slowly release the hand, bringing the head back to the midline of the body. Hands float down to your thighs. Lift the other arm up, bend that elbow, fingers on top of the opposite ear, and then stretch your head in the other direction. Breathe. Let it feel good. That's what it's all about, letting your yoga feel good for you. Feeling what you feel, breathing through it. Your breath is such a big part of it. Breathe in, breathe out, and then finish. Release your hand and then slowly bring your head back up to the midline of your body. Tee out your arms. Let the backs of your hands go to the back of the room. Open up through your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Why not? Hugs are good. Give yourself one. Let the arms cross at the front of your body. Work your fingers toward your spine. Elbows are stacked. Release your shoulders down and then expand your shoulders wide to the sides of the room as you take a tight, tight squeeze, tight, tight hug. Let it feel awesome. And then when you're ready, remember what arm's on top. So easy to forget. I've got my right arm on top. Then I'm going to tee out my arms, drive the hands to the back of the room, lift through the chest, breathe, and then bring the opposite arm on top. So bring the left arm on top. Cross the elbows, reach the fingers toward the spine, soften in the shoulders, soften them down away from your ears. So easy to keep them hugged up. Soften them away from the ears, and then expand your shoulders wide to the sides of the room. And just feel the expansion in your back. Let it feel good in your back. Deep breath in, and your deep breath out. Let it go. And let the hug go. Now, let's do cat-cow. This is great for your spine. Come to a neutral tabletop. All right, you've got this so far, right? If you've been practicing with me for the many, many days we've been online, or, if you're new to it, get in the habit. It's really a good habit to be in. Neutral tabletop, wrists under shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Tuck your chin to your chest. Tuck your tailbone under. Arch your back up like a Halloween cat, pressing the tops of your feet and your hands into your mat, hollowing out your belly, being in your cat pose. As you exhale the air out of your lungs, take it to cow pose. Crown of the head and tailbone lift. Remember that sensation in puppy pose? Very similar here. Let's do it a few more times. Use your breath to make the pose work even better for you. Exhale, cat pose. Because think about it, when you exhale, you're flattening your belly, you're driving your navel back towards your spine, creating space for you to take this pose. Cow pose, let your belly come down toward the earth, let the crown of the head go up and your tailbone go up too. Cat-cow, great pose for your spine, limbering up, loosening up your spine, getting the spine moving. Remember in our warm-up, we did palm tree pose, where you move the spine sideways, and then we did a forward fold, and a little baby back bend. Similar here. Cat pose is similar to that forward fold. Cow pose is similar to that baby back bend. And let's finish. Neutral tabletop. Come back to a flat spine. Let's move the spine sideways again a little more intensely, kind of like we did in palm tree. Extend your right leg long. Put the ball of the foot on your mat. Drive the ball of the foot into the mat. Oh, that feels good in the back leg. At least it does for me. I hope it does for you too. So your Achilles tendon is getting a stretch there. So thank you for improving my foundation. In the feet, Achilles tendon, lengthen. Lift the right leg up, the one that's nice and straight. Cross it over the midline of the body. Squeeze high in the upper inner thighs. Plant the ball of the foot down. The right foot is down on the left side of the body now. Dial your right hip down so your hips are equidistant to your mat. Look over your left shoulder just a little bit, or maybe even more. Look back to your foot, your ankle. Maybe you can even find your knee, or you can see your bottom. Push into the mat. Hold it here, sideways movement of the spine, nice big stretch up the whole right side of your body. Take the right leg, sweep it around, keeping it nice and long, sweep it around to the side, bring it to about hip height maybe. Send your right arm up to the sky like you did in Thread the Needle. Look up to your hand. Twist in the torso, look up. Can you see your hand? You're moving your neck. Good job. Plant the right hand down. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. Good job. Let's do it on the other side. Start by extending the left leg long. Planting the ball of the foot down, pushing into the mat, feeling the goodness up the back left leg. The back left leg, the only left leg you have. Breathe, lengthen. Let it feel good. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe you just gently cross it over the midline of the body. Don't be critical of yourself. Do what you can with what you got. I'm going to bring my foot a little farther, squeeze high in the upper inner thighs, dial the left hip down, push the earth away. Maybe you stay right here. I'm going to look to the right side of my mat. I'm going to look back toward my foot, my knee, or my bottom. Breathe. Sweep the left foot around, leg is nice and long. Bring it to whatever works for you, maybe about hip height. Plant the foot, left arm lifts, lift it up to the sky. Breathe. All right, this is a good saying too. You've got to feel it to heal it. So what do you feel here? Do you feel the nice twist? Lift the arm up, gaze on up. Don't you just feel good about yourself when you move? Breathe. Doesn't have to be intense movement either. Maybe it's a little less. It's all good. It all works. Breathe and finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Time for bird dog pose. This is great for strengthening your spine. It's a balancing pose. It's a bit of a challenge. Take it in layers. Here's a layer you could take. Maybe you bring your blocks at whatever height configuration works for you. Probably a little bit higher than normal. All right. Neutral tabletop, start by lifting the right leg. Knee to about hip height, then extend the right leg long. Push your hands into the mat and you can stay right here. Draw your toes towards your shin as you lengthen through your heel. Dial your right hip down so your hips are equal distant to the mat. Perhaps you add in the left hand, the opposite hand of the leg that's lifted. Reach the fingers long, press into the mat. Maybe you find those blocks at the top of your mat and you find balance there. Perhaps you spread your fingers wide, thumb up like a hitchhiker. Stretch, reach, lengthen, push the earth away good and hard. Bend elbow and your knee and have them touch underneath your navel, and then extend. Or don't do that at all. It's up to you. Another option would be to take your left hand, capture under your right knee, and draw your nose toward your knee, and then reach. You do what is right for you. Once, twice, whatever feels good. Nice stretch, nice lengthening, breathe. Finish. Hand comes down, knee comes down. That gets your heart pumping, doesn't it? Readjust, realign in your neutral tabletop. Left leg lifts, left leg extends, toes to the shin, hips equally aligned to the mat. Stretch through that left leg. Feel the strengthening in your low back. Reach the right arm long. Stretch your spine. Fingers wide. Thumb up. Use the blocks if you wish to. It's your call. It's your yoga. Make it work your way. Maybe the hand stays down. Lengthen. Reach a little more. Push a little harder into the earth. Elbow to knee under the belly button. Reach, stretch, maybe hand captures underneath the left knee and you draw your nose toward your knee. Stretch, reach, take it however many times, however you like it. Breathe. Hand comes down, knee comes down. That is your bird dog pose. Let's not rest. Let's come into a plank pose. We typically do a plank every single day. Not true. Not on our restorative days. We typically do planks most days of the week. We set a timer. You'll see it on the screen. It's only there for you to measure, if you want to measure, how long you can hold your planks. If you're new to planks, you can come down to your back and press up toward the sky, imagining, like your body's flipped 180 degrees, imagining you're in a plank. The plank I'm going to do today, I'll show you in a second. But here's another variation. Come down to your forearms. Spread your knees a little bit, hinge your weight forward. So your shoulders are over your elbows, hands spread wide, holding your bottom up toward the sky like you do in puppy pose. Or take whatever variation you like in your plank. I'm going to go into a bear plank today to a downward facing dog. For a bear plank, if you wish to join me, you start in a neutral tabletop. You tuck your toes towards your shins like a toes pose. Oh boy, good. Feet are getting more of a workout. And then you're going to lift your knees up an inch or two above the ground. Hold here. Let's start a timer. All right, here goes the 1 minute timer. All right, it's on the screen. You can do whatever variation of plank you like, and you can time yourself. You can see, maybe today I held it 10 seconds. Woohoo! Maybe tomorrow I hold it 11. It's awesome. Stick with it in your plank pose. My knees are slightly elevated, just a couple inches above the ground. This is also called crouching tiger pose. You decide what you want to call it, but just whatever it is, enjoy it. Stay here as long as is right for you. My arms are stacked, so my wrists are underneath my shoulders for stability. We're 40 seconds in, right? All right, hold on here. If you want to take a break in this pose, you can always send your hips high to a downward facing dog, tailbone lifted. Come back into it after you've taken your little break for these last 10 seconds. Press the earth away, hover the knees, you're strong. You've got it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Come on out of the variation of plank that you are in. Whew! Good on you. Plank is a hard pose, but engages everything you got. Read about planks. I'll post some information about planks in our little group on Facebook. It's called Friends of 316 Yoga. Grab your drink, and let's keep going. All right, so plank pose engages everything you got, helps keep you strong, and we all need to be strong. Come down to your bottom, have your strap nearby. If you want to use it for boat pose, I'm not going to use it today, but it's your choice. Bend your knees, soles of the feet touch, knees open wide, hands to prayer center. Time for that positive voice inside your head to tell you something good. I am strong. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Come on down to reclined Once you are reclined, hug your heels up closer to your groin. Bring your fingertips lightly to your temples, elbows open wide. Stay here if you want, or begin to pulse your chin up to the sky. Little teeny pulses. The chin, I say the chin because I want you to keep your neck nice and straight. Sometimes, you tuck the chin to your chest and your neck is curved. Let's keep the neck nice and straight. Let's protect it. Lift the elbows to the sky. Little lifts, little lowers. You got it. Don't sweat it. You can do it. It's just yoga. Little lifts, little lowers. All right, let's come on down, all the way down. Bring your knees together at the midline of your body. Send one leg long and then hug the right knee in. Hug it in with your fingers underneath the knee. Breathe. Other side, release the right leg down and hug the left knee in. You could use your little towel here. If your arms can't quite reach, you could take your towel and hug the knee in. Start to alternate, hugging one knee in, then the other. Maybe peel your shoulders up and maybe keep the legs lifted while one leg extends and the other knee's getting a good hug in toward the chest. Breathe. Hug the knee in, extend the opposite leg. Now straighten both legs. Hug one leg in and extend the other like a scissor kick. Hug one knee in, extend the other. You could bring the one foot of the extended leg down. I guess both legs are extended. The one that's near the bottom of the mat, you could touch it down or not. Hug the calf in, then the other calf. And then when you're ready, come on up to a seated position. Come on up to boat. Maybe the feet touch the ground, maybe they don't. Send the shoulders back and down and hold right here. That was so fun. Let's try it again. Roll back onto your back. Legs go up, start to scissor kick them, hugging one calf in, then the other. Peel your shoulder blades up. All right, let's try to come on up to your boat pose without setting the legs down. Hold it, chest is lifted, back is flat. Legs maybe extend, maybe you use your strap for your boat pose. It's up to you. Hold it here, you got it, you're strong. Hands back to prayer center, hold it, and then finish. Bring your feet on down, crisscross at the ankles, hinge forward so you can come back to a downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a little bit. Feet are hip width distance apart. Heels are slightly lifted. And pedal it out. Let it feel good in your foundation, in your feet, in your calves, all the way up the backs of your legs. Hands are shoulder width distance apart and your neck is loose. Look back to your knees or your belly button. Let the head hang heavily. Still your feet. Walk your feet up to meet your hands or walk your hands back to meet your feet. Sweep your arms to the side. Lengthen up. Come on up to your extended mountain pose. Lengthen up. And then soften in the shoulders. Hands to prayer center. We're going to do tree. We're going to combine it with a couple of things today. All right, tree pose, classic yoga pose, the one you always think of when you think of a standing pose. Hands to prayer center. Positive affirmation. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Chair nearby, totally fine. I'm going to root into my left leg, lift my right leg up, open it to the side of the room. Slip the inside of the right foot, the heel, to the left ankle, or a little bit higher, or even higher yet. Pushing the foot into the leg, then pushing the leg back into the foot. Don't put your foot on your knee. That's the only thing that's not a good place to put it in this pose. Anywhere else is just great. Check out your hips. Hips should be equidistant to the front of the room. Outside of the right knee, drive it more to the back of the room. Tree, hold it. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. You got it. Grow your branches if you like. Sway them if you like. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room, but don't set the foot down. Take a big step out with your right leg. Big step forward. Let's do toppling tree. Toppling tree gets back into the shoulders. Take your hands to your low back, interlace your fingers, push your thumbs into your bottom, open up through your chest, hold it right here and just feel how good it feels. Hinge the weight forward into the right leg, little bend in the right knee. Left leg lifts a little or a lot. You can still hold on to that chair if you want. Maybe look down to your mat. Maybe look to your right toes and work the interlaced fingers up the back wall. Breathe. Finish. Left foot meets right. Come back to that big open chest pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let your fingers, hands float down by your sides. Shoulder shrugs. Tight shoulder shrug up to the ears. Tight shoulder shrug to the back of the room. Then bring them on down. Shrug them again. Tight up. Tight back, let them hang loose. Up, back, and down. Tee out your arms. Big hug, right arm on top, nice tight squeeze. You know this one. Soften the shoulders away from the ears and to the side of the room. Open up the arms, tee them out. Big hug on the other side. Soften shoulders, expand through the shoulders, let it go. Let's come into a You Will Look Taller pose. Big letter Y in the body, legs zipped up, backs of the hands to the back of the room. Big letter W in the arms, elbows down. Two big L's, forward and back, hugging the elbows into the waist. Tee out the arm, one big T, and then pat the backs of the hands to the back of the room. You will look taller. When you're ready, let's do it again. You will look terrific. All right, hands float down by your sides. Let's do that tree sequence again. Root through the opposite leg. I'm going to root into my right, open up my left, draw the foot up to wherever speaks to you today, whatever that is, it's good. All right, skip the knee, remember that. Hips equidistant to the mat. Hold on to the chair if you want, because this is more about your hips. Finding your balance is more important than giving up and saying, I just can't do it. Hands to prayer center, lengthen up. Maybe grow your branches and sway them. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. How are you doing with this? Nice job, you got it. Hands back to prayer center. Release the foot from the leg and let the knee come back to a natural position in the front. That's an important part of this. Send the left heel forward, send the left foot forward and plant it on the earth. With your right foot, lift it up a little. Hold your chair if you want, or lift your foot a lot. Take your hands, interlace your fingers behind your low back. Press your thumbs into your bottom, and when you're comfortable, lift the right leg a little higher, little bend in your left knee. Lift the arms up toward the sky. Breathe in your toppling tree. When you're ready, right foot meets left, hands back to prayer center. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Soften the arms down by your sides, shoulder shrugs, shoulders up, shoulders back, shoulders down, up, back, down. Feels so good. Let's squeeze in another one. Up to the ears. Your shoulders are like earrings. Squeeze the shoulders to the back and then release the shoulders long. Nice job. Tee out your arms, big and strong. A big hug here. You know this by now. Soften, expand. Tee out the arms, crisscross, tight squeeze, soften, expand. Nice big hug. You will look taller. Let's go. Big letter Y, big letter W, two big L's. T for taller, pulse them back. That feels really good. You will look taller, and you will look terrific. You got it. Let's finish. Arms down by your sides. Here's a challenge. Maybe you want a chair nearby. One-legged mountain. Arms go high. Extended mountain pose, Tadasana. One-legged mountain. Lift your right leg up, knee to about hip height. Hold it here, lengthen up. You're strong. Strong foundation in that left foot. Maybe take your hands now, float them on down like clouds by a mountain, and then hug underneath your knee. Maybe interlaced fingers and you hug your knee in. Maybe work your fingers down your shin, work them down, and maybe you can take your peace fingers of your right hand, put them between your big toe and the other toes. Maybe you can extend the leg long. Maybe you can open it up. Open it up, maybe tee out the opposite arm and hold in your gate pose. Bring the leg back to a natural position. Release the toes, come back to a one-legged mountain. Makes one-legged mountain feel really easy, right? Hands to prayer center. Right foot down. Hold on here. Let's do it again on the other side. Take it in layers. All right, Tadasana, extended mountain. Maybe that's where you are today with a little chair assist. Lift the left leg, one-legged mountain. Interlaced fingers, hands float down. Interlaced fingers hug under the knee. Maybe that's where you stay. Work the hands down toward the foot. Left hand, maybe those two peace fingers reach in between the big toe and the other toes. Extend the leg long, straighten up and hold. Open up the left leg, open up the right arm and hold, focus. Come back to a natural position, bend the knee, maybe hug it in, maybe come back to your one-legged mountain, maybe back to Tadasana, extended mountain. Hands to prayer center, fold forward. Walk your hands forward, come to your knees. We're gonna surf. Come into a lunge with your two blocks by your sides. Right leg forward, knee over ankle. Use the blocks to push into them, to send your left leg long, to feel a good stretch in your left hip. Maybe hands stay on your blocks. Maybe you come up with shoulders over your hips a little bit. Maybe you lift your arms up and take a baby back bend. Hands back to prayer center. Maybe you stay right here. Hands back to the blocks, maybe. Start to surf. Right leg straightens and bends. You can hold on to the blocks, keeping the blocks stable and just bending this right knee. You could always slip a towel under your left knee. Maybe you walk the blocks back towards your hips, come onto that right heel and maybe sit on your left heel. Forward and back, with or without the blocks. Big stretch in the hips, big stretch in the knees, using your strong core to feel good here. Come back to standing on both knees. Left foot forward. Same thing, other side. Push the blocks, right leg goes long, top of the right foot on the mat. I'm feeling it here. That's the main sensation I want to feel. It's in the right hip flexor. Press into the hands, shoulders over hips, maybe. Maybe arms lift, maybe a little back bend. Hands back to prayer center. Maybe this is where you stay. Or maybe you bring the hands back to the blocks and start to straighten and bend the left knee. Maybe walk the blocks back a little or a lot. Or maybe come to sit on your right heel, left toes up to the sky. Walk them forward and stretch. Maybe hands to prayer center, or maybe use your hands for balance as you get on up there. And back and forth. So many ways to do it. What you're after is how it feels, not how it looks. Get out of your head, get into your body. What you're doing is just fine. All right. Oh, breathe. Let's finish. All right, come back to both knees. Remove your blocks. Come on down to your belly. Hands under your shoulders. Hinge forward. Come on down nice and slowly. Let's do a locust pose here. We've interclasped the hands a lot today. Interlace the fingers. That's what I wanted to say. Spread the tops of your feet to the bottoms of your mat. Take your hands down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears. Lift your hands up, interlace your fingers at your low back. This time you're pressing your thumbs into your low back. So feel the opening in your shoulders. When you're ready, on an inhale, lift on up, chest lifts, maybe your legs lift. Interlaced fingers, maybe they lift away from your back. Breathe, think of your interlaced fingers going up and back and hold. Finish, come on down. There's your locust pose. Place your hands under your collarbones. Straighten the elbows, come on up. Here's your seal pose. Soften in your glutes. Then press on up to a standing on your knees. Take your hands to your low back. Squeeze your elbows towards your spine and push your belly forward. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet, or maybe look overhead like a raindrop's gonna fall right between your eyes. You know, don't go any farther today. You don't have to. Tomorrow, we will if you want. It's up to you. Breathe. Finish, shoulders over your hips. Come on down to seated. Legs go long, toes go up to the sky, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, reach forward with your parallel arms. Hollow out your belly, reach a little farther. Maybe capture your ankles, your calves, whatever. Hug your elbows in. Look to your knees. Lengthen up. Exhale, fold more forward. Inhale, lengthen, fold forward. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Bend your knees. Plant the soles of your feet on your mat. Take your eye shade or your towel. That's a good sign. Bring it up by your side, up by your shoulders. Feet are on your mat. Hands to prayer center. Positive mantra time. Slowly float on down. Your core is strong. Slowly float on down with control. All the way down. Oh, all the way down to your mat. Arms down by your sides, knees bent, bridge pose. Press into your mat with your hands. Lift your feet on up as you press the weight into your feet. Shoulders, wiggle them closer to your spine. Lift your hips even higher. Interlaced fingers, again, pressing the pinkies into the mat. Breathe. Shoulders are going to love you for it. Release your hands down. Roll your spine down. One vertebra at a time. Bring your tailbone down last. Left leg long, right knee bends. Interlaced fingers, hug under the right knee. We did this standing earlier, didn't we? All right, circle the right ankle this way and that. Hug the knee in even more. Left hand, supine twist is what we're doing. Left hand guides the right knee across the midline of the body. Right arm tees out, your right shoulder stays down. Look to the right, twist and enjoy this twist. Right hip comes down. Hug the knee in again, circle the ankle this way and that. Right foot goes down, left knee bends. Interlaced fingers, hug the left knee in. You could use your towel again, remember we did that earlier? Hug the knee in, circle the ankle, this way and that. Right hand goes across the midline of the body, captures the left knee, roll over onto the right hip. Shoulders both stay down, tee out the left arm and look left. You don't have to look at your hand. Maybe you're looking up toward the left side of your room, or maybe you do turn your head a little bit more. It's up to you. Left hip comes down to meet the right. Hug the knee in, circle the ankle again. Left leg goes down to meet the right. How about both legs lift off the ground and they float on up to the sky? Bend your knees, hug the left knee toward your left armpit, right knee toward the right armpit. Rock a little bit from side to side. Here's your happy baby pose. As you rock here on your low back, let it feel great. Maybe capture inner calves, then start to straighten one leg and then bend the other. Rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe you take your hands and capture your heels. Shoulders come back down, one leg lifts while the other is bent. Then do the opposite. One leg bends, then the other one straightens. Happy baby pose. Feel your hips kind of like a frog out to the side. Breathe. Send your legs, both legs up, high to the sky, arms down by your sides. Slowly float those legs on down, down, down. Here's where you can feel your tailbone. Float it on down, all the way down, nice and slowly. Because you're strong, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Float them on down. You are strong. All right, final Shavasana pose. Cover your eyes with your eye shade or your towel. Feels really good. Legs spread a little bit, heels toward the bottom of your mat, arms down by your sides, palms face up, shoulders away from the ears, fingertips reaching toward those corners of your mat. Wiggle your shoulder blades a little bit to tuck them underneath your back. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe you sigh it out. Whew. Let it go. Soften the area between your eyebrows. Remove the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Just breathe. Your body does amazing things. Treat it well, and your yoga treats it well. It gives it the movement that it wants. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Squeeze your hands toward your palms. Squeeze your toes toward your feet. Tension all the way up the arms, all the way up the legs, into the belly, into the neck. Just good tension, then release. Let it go. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. That feels good. Breathe in. Breathe out. It's your yoga. You take it as long as you like, however you like. One of the things you might want to do, this is a nice little tip, keep your remote control nearby so you can hit pause and stay here in this final Shavasana pose as long as you like. Consider it a time of conscious relaxation and restoration. If it is time for you to conclude your hour, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Maybe sigh it out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Move your wrists, move your ankles. Inhale, reach the arms high overhead. Stretch it out like your first good morning stretch before you get out of bed. Stretch, find length. Exhale, bend your knees, bend your elbows, roll into a fetal position onto one hip, one side, or the other. Low arms, bicep is a pillow for your head. Top shoulder is away from the ears. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Stay here longer if you want. It's your choice. I'm going to make my way up, consciously not using my hands. Maybe you do use your hands, but just be aware of what you're doing. Sit comfortably, whatever is comfortable for you. Hands to prayer center, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, soften in the shoulders. Think of your spine as long. Breathe in, breathe out. Remember that mantra you created, that positive voice inside your head? Tell yourself that statement again on your mat here and then again throughout your day. Blink your eyes open. You did it. You did it. All right, stress number you took in the beginning. What was it? More importantly, what is it? Good job. It's come down. Stick with your yoga. If you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, you'll make progress and you will reach your destination. So hopefully your yoga can help you do that. Hopefully your yoga is keeping you stronger. I know it is. Tell your friends about our yoga. See you on your mats tomorrow. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye. Hey, how are you? Good girl. You are just full of energy. Bye. Hi. Good on you. You finished another practice. Awesome job. What can you leave on your mat today? After every practice this week, what can you leave on your mat that just isn't serving you anymore? Focus on the good, be happy, and leave the other stuff behind. Our practice, you're here. It's free for anybody and everybody. Tell your friends about our practice. Everybody can benefit from the yoga. It's all good. If you'd like to support our broadcast, check out our website. It's www.316yoga.com. See you on your mats tomorrow, and leave all the other stuff behind that doesn't serve you well. You deserve that. See you tomorrow.